Miguel and Carlos were once inseparable brothers, sharing everything they had in a small village. But one night, a terrible accident changed everything. Carlos accidentally set the village grain storage on fire, and terrified of ruining his future, he begged Miguel to take the blame. Out of pure love, Miguel sacrificed his own freedom. He confessed to a crime he didn't commit, spending 5 brutal years in prison while his family suffered in poverty. Meanwhile, Carlos kept his record clean and rose to power, becoming a wealthy, beloved politician. When Miguel was finally released, he traveled to the city, hoping his old friend would finally help his struggling family. He pushed through the crowd at a grand rally, desperate to reconnect. But Carlos didn't see a brother. He saw a dirty beggar threatening his perfect image. In front of thousands of cheering fans, Carlos pushed Miguel away, publicly calling him a liar and a stranger. In that moment, Miguel realized the boy he saved was gone, replaced by a man consumed by greed. After the betrayal, Miguel returned home broken. Mocked by the village and rejected by his own father, he survived by doing backbreaking labor. Meanwhile, Carlos used his clean record to become a wealthy politician. When a brutal drought struck, the village began to die. But Miguel found an old map to a hidden underground spring. Ignoring the mockery, he dug alone until his hands bled. Suddenly, a gush of water erupted, saving the entire village. Miguel became an overnight hero, and reporters flocked to see him. Watching from his office, Carlos saw a golden opportunity. He didn't go to visit his brother. He went to steal the spotlight. With cameras rolling, Carlos flew in by helicopter, ready to fake a reunion and steal the votes. Carlos arrived in the village not to help, but to perform. Surrounded by cameras and crew, pretending to be the hero Miguel actually was. On stage, he grabbed Miguel, hugging him for the cameras and wiping away fake tears. Miguel stood there stiff and silent, enduring the humiliation to avoid a scene. But the village's dying elder refused to let the lie live. Clutching his old diary, he summoned his grandson. The young man marched to the front of the crowd and held the book up for the world to see. The pages contained Carlos's own confession. The truth hit the news instantly. Carlos's face went pale as his perfect image shattered. Within hours, he was stripped of his titles and dragged out of his office in disgrace. Broken and ruined, Carlos had nowhere left to go. That night, he sneaked back into the village like a ghost. He found Miguel by the well and fell to his knees in the dirt, sobbing and begging for the mercy he never showed. Miguel didn't yell or seek revenge. He simply filled a cup with water and handed it to his former friend. But while Miguel offered mercy, the village demanded justice. Carlos would spend the rest of his days working the dry fields, learning the hard way that true redemption requires a lifetime of honest work.